Okay, well, I'd like to welcome each of you to our business leadership discussion today. Let's just begin with a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege it's ours to gather together through technology, as if we're in one room, we're in one place, in one space, and one place in our minds. And we pray for the presentation today. You'll bless and guide and direct Larry as he shares. We pray that we'll have ears to hear those things that you want us to hear. That applies to our personal lives and to the businesses and the ministries that we run. So we thank you for your presence in our midst, in your name. Let me just introduce to you Larry. Some of you, in fact, many of you probably know Larry, but it's always good to hear the background. Larry's an architect by training since 1988. He's led a group of companies, actually, that's built over 3,000 homes across Canada. One of his signature projects is the Cornell community they developed in Markham in 1997 as a master. It consists of 12,000 acres of land and 10,000 homes for 40,000 residents. His vision at the time was to turn Cornell into a new urbanist community. In 1992, Larry focused his energy and investments on the Living Water Resorts, formerly known as Cranberry Resort, in Collingwood. Through Living Water Resorts, he envisions to create a fun and caring community for his staff, customers, and local community. Welcome to those of you on the call today that are a part of that company and resort. Larry believes strongly that people can make the difference. This explains why he wants to invest in people and in the community. He does so first by committing himself as a servant leader, and then by treating his business as a mission. With all his endeavors, Larry hopes his staff members will see themselves not only cutting stone or simply making brick, but helping to build a cathedral. In other words, they see themselves making a difference in other people's lives and being a contributing member to the company and to their community. In retrospect, for the last 30 years, Larry's career from an award-winning home builder to a passionate community builder, using his successful business and the blessings showered upon him to help build up more people and to glorify God. Larry has become a good friend of the Canadian Christian Business Federation, so I welcome you, Larry, to this event today.
Thank you. Thank you, Don. You have a very good introduction, and I'm very humbled to be able to be with your invitation and with everyone that we are here, hoping that we can learn and we can support and we can grow all together and to glorify God. And I think what we call is a marketplace ministry, as well as a BAM, business as a mission, or whatever the name we call. I think we are taking the privilege to be working in the marketplace in a unique way and hoping that we can be the salt and light in the community. So let me just start it off with the first slide. And the first thing we call integrity. Everyone know about the integrity, but however, once we really want to live out, our life with integrity is challenging. It's very difficult. And sometimes we might really want to, close our eyes and moving on, take this opportunity to, to show off our excellence in working with integrity. So I think we need to take on to the next page. And whatever we're talking about today, the most important thing is why we are doing it, how we can do it. And I think that the whole thing is coming from God. We have so many of the nice verses and message to encourage us to be good. One simple, verses from here is the integrity of the upright guides them. And I think this is very important that, even though we know that integrity is a good thing to do, but if we do it on our own, so impossible to be able to do so. And why we are doing so. And from time to time, we always want to give up. And because we are just a lonely soldier, we just want to be quiet and want to live our life just like all the other people and so on and so forth. Guidance and protection, we have a transformed life, another joyful life that we are going to experience it. If we taking on the challenge, if we're taking on the opportunity, how we run our business, how we run, our life with integrity. So the beginning, let us start it off next page. And coming back, well, I guess, we never be able to finish our talk when we are talking about challenges, in an hour. I much prefer, to wait for some other time when we come to the Q&A, and hoping that we can really down to earth talking about what kind of challenges. And it'll be thousands of them, if not hundreds of them. But one thing is that why we talk about challenges is just because, and it's so human, it's so layman, that from time to time, we are thinking, from our self-serving. We are thinking, about how we can, gain more of the benefit. It causes conflict of interest and many of the things like that. Just give you a simple example I experienced recently. I was staying in a restaurant in UK, and somehow, and that was a guest yelling so loudly and disturbing. Then later on, I find out that this guest was a very respectable big customer, repeated customer to this restaurant, and I sort of took the stand to challenge the management. Why you allow this restaurant, and to have someone behaving like this though, and then only to find out that about this kind of a big client so and so though. And I patiently explain, probably not patiently, it was not the right thing, trying to calm down myself and trying to advise them, you know what, that may not be the good business practice. If you allow people like that, it does not show good, to other customer. It does not show good, to the most important thing is to your staff though. It's not fair, for the staff, running around like this though. When I came back, I quickly, have a self-reflection on our own. Are we doing this kind of thing? And only to find out that, and we talk about it's not always right. And that was one of the things, the challenge we have to learn. 20 some years ago, I was just like any businessman. Customer is always right. But today, we are talking with our leaders in the company that not necessarily they have to be right. But the thing is about we need to stand firm to protect. Number one is our staff. And so in that sense, though, challenges of this kind of integrity can be well mistreated and well interpreted. Well, we need business. We need the repeated customer and so and so. So many times we can have a different kind of interpretation coming from the gray area. It just never ends, this kind of story. However, on the other side, though, we can also talk about the opportunity if we can really keep our integrity high. Number one, coming back to the layman language, every company want to build a branding so and so, and we can spend tons of money marketing on this kind of thing. But the most important thing is that do we really live out what we promise? And I think that is the most important thing. And the next thing is about, and how we can be building a good branding that based on our company culture. And the company culture is to be built, by our staff for years of living out what we promise. And give you a little bit of example that, for our resort. And from time to time, we have some challenging, I guess, that way. And one of the challenging was that we were told that one family to stay with us, knowing that the father is in his final stage and he is going to die. And our management, volunteering intentionally, showed our care to upgrade them, to a much bigger space for 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom condo. And that is not the thing that we, usually have to do. But the thing is that because we care, we want to show service, to the staff that way. So all this kind of a small thing, though, not necessarily it's a big deal, but the big deal based on the people-centered attitude that way, not because of the business. We just want to show our care and hoping that, we have make a little bit of contribution in people's life. By doing all this kind of thing is also part of the team building and also part of the staff retention. And the more important thing is that, by doing so, and our staff, we feel good because they would do the thing according to the good conscience. And they are not doing it because they have to do it according to different kind of policy and so and so. They want to be human. They want to be doing something good. So if they feel good about what they are doing, I think that is the best output any company can expect the staff to do. As such, though, they will be proud of what they are doing. They will be proud of the company. And together, we're always saying that it's not a matter of for you and I doing it. The most important thing is about we are doing it, why we are doing it. And at the same time is whatever we are doing it, just because we have one high purpose, which is about how to live out our life, how we can do, to other people, how we can bring value and contribution to the people around us then. So in that sense, though, that we can unlock so much of our people's potential, reputation, later on, and for us, keep on doing it. A lot of people, and it's so funny though, sometimes the people saying that, well, you guys doing all this so good thing. I find it unbelievable, but I intentionally watch you, and they find out that, it's true. It's just a pure heart that we want to do good, to the people. And so that kind of reputation, it means tons of the money spending in the marketing as well too. Influences is another good opportunity. Do we really feel good about what we are doing? Do we want to multiply about the good thing that we are doing? So the point is about we might be small, but we might be mighty. So as such, though, we can generally, softly influences our staff, their family, as well as about the tens and thousands of our guests that way. They will be inspired by watching, by enjoying, by staying in our resort that way. Community serving. Community is the one thing, we really, take privilege by serving the community. By serving the community, it's not only giving out. At the same time, we receive reward as well too. Because what kind of a reward? Not necessarily money-wise, but the more important thing is we feel good. We feel good that we are not a lonely soldier. We feel good that, by policy with the local community, 1 + 1 is not equal to 2. 1 + 1, that may be equal to 3 and 4 and 5 that way. That is rewarding. That is joyful in our life. Doing all this kind of thing is the best way, to witness, to be the salt and light, to glorify God. So this is the opportunity. And this is what we have gone through. But the most important thing is about, okay, what's next step? How to do it? Well, this is 20 years of this kind of a secret sauce that we are trying to do. Definitely, we have a long way to go. But the most important thing is that if we keep the core value is how we can be a good servant leader. The good servant leadership is something. It sounds like contradicting. It's very contradicting in the mainstream business that way, but it works. And that's why we feel so good that whatever we are doing, we are basically have the courage to live out our life based on the biblical principle. And that work not only in our life, that also work in this challenging world. What does it mean though? It basically is about I'm a leader. So you guys got to listen to me and that kind of managed by title. But we don't manage by title and we manage by heart. What is our heart? Is loving. So as such though, to be a leader, if we can really rethink that how we can serve our staff, with our care, with our love, And I think that is the kind of our daily that we can live out that way. And after all, though, bottom line, though, we connect people with heart to heart. And that is the most important thing, but that is the most powerful thing that we can build up, our team. Well, coming back is still ourselves, though. Instead of, talking about anything else, though, how we can be. 20 some years ago, I was no different from any other business. I just work for myself, making money, and money never be enough. And we chasing for the power, the money, and the name, and all this kind of thing. And was I really happy? Not necessarily, because I was always chasing. I always, chasing and chasing and chasing. I'm quite humble to explain that. I am quite a joyful man, and our team, I can represent. I can make a statement that the majority of our staff, they are happy in what they are doing in this company that way, and how to do it, and why we are doing it is a long way that we are going to do. But the most important thing is about we enjoy having the daily partnership with God, with His guidance and with His protection, and we are confident to do the right thing. We are given the wisdom we're talking about is the spiritual wisdom. The spiritual wisdom that can elevate us to do a lot of things that we've never been to be able to do so, but we are doing it. And so this is the lot of this kind of baby step and get us to where we are that way. And no such thing as about, any kind of MBA education and all those things though. And I used to ask God though, that what you want me to do? I devote myself to you and so and so. Suddenly I'm doing you a favor. And for the first 2-3 years, nothing happened because I was not good enough to be used. I was not good enough to be used. But right now, for years and years, that a lot of this kind of baby step, God transformed me and transformed us into a more of the soft-hearted business people. We don't need to be so tough to the people. We want to be soft-hearted to the people. So that where they coming from? Well, basically, we all learn that is from Bible. But the thing is about that only, the knowledge that we used to know. It's not the knowledge, it's our witness, it's our journey, it's our life that we've gone through on a daily basis. And so many miracle things that happen is beyond our business plan A and B and C, but way bigger than, way better than, way more wonderful that we are enjoying this way. And this is such a wonderful opportunity that we can experience, with God that way. And as such, though, we experience Him, as such, though, that we enjoy His love. And we want to return our love to Him, loving other people. And we call this thing as a love tank. I'm proud to share that. My love tank usually quite full. So naturally, my love can spill over to other people. It becomes such a natural thing. It's not such, I have to do it, and so like that. It just comes natural. So this is the core, the life transformation. And that is called the business transformation. And we gain the source of energy on a daily basis. And we are not saying we have an easy life. We have an easy business. No such thing. But the thing, it does not matter that. It is up and down. They all are good according to His will, according to His plan. But we at the same time have the source of energy that we can run our life, our tough business on a daily basis. We talk so much, we can have the application that way then. So again, though, it's a many of the baby step we go through, and just give you some example about one thing, relating to the casino. Quite a few years ago, I bet that many people would remember that at that time, the whole profit, we're talking about opening more casino to generate more funding and so like that. And Collingwood, where we are located, is no exception either. So that was a motion asking for the council to approve to build, some, but it did not sit well with us, and thinking that casino, might be twisted interpretation, but we know that that's not the right thing to do. So what do we do? As a developer, a businessman, and definitely we want to build some good relationship with the local government. And so as such though, I can easily just say, well, okay, just pass on. We don't say nothing then. But it did not sit well with me. Apparently, it was the Holy Spirit who stirred up, my heart, and together with many of our local as well too. So we filed a petition advising the council not to approve such motion, but we did not have high expectation the town would to understand us. But it turned out to be 5-4 going against having a casino. That was pretty good. But that was not good enough. Later on, we were told by one councillor saying that because of you guys submitting the petition, I changed my mind from a yes to no. My goodness, it could have been 5-4 approving the casino, but it turned out to be the other way around. Take away from this incident is that God may just touch one guy's, he turned one guy out of 9. Probably he did not need to change 9, change 1, and turn out to be a good ending like this. So this is the kind of thing causing us to be humble and causing us and reminding us that, we don't just stay on the knowledge about what we learn, from the Bible. We need to live out with our integrity. The integrity is a lot of challenges as well as a lot of opportunity to experience God, for us to be used, to make some contribution in our community that way. And the next thing is about letting go the bad apples and coming back to the business, management. Definitely, usually we care for the more important people, but somehow do we know that the more important people is also equal to all level of the staff though? But many times we don't do it. We pick and choose, thinking about, well, the more important people is more important to the business, to the company. So we will choose the gray area, not to take action to make something good that way. But in our company, we've gone through many, many times that we have to take action to be fair, to be kind to all people. When we are talking about people, are we really, really coming back to respect people? We love people, all people, regardless about the background, about the skin, about where they are, about the family upbringing, all this kind of thing that way. So as such though, if we care for all people equally, that is the right thing to do, and that is integrity. So all these things coming back to is still with the love tank though. Do we love people? Do we love God? Do we love God by loving other people? And I think that sums up about many of our decision making. Many of the decision making never been easy. When we take action, it's not easy, but in the long run, it works. It is very, very rewarding. So just a little bit of the example that we are talking, how we live out the integrity, into real world that way. So if we may, and then we get on to something where we call is how we can do better. So when we talk about application, assuming that we pass the test, but we need to be striving to be a more of a caring business people. We just recently learned about how we can categorize the different area. We're talking about, we want to evaluate, we want to have a reflection, how we are doing better on the social, environmental, spiritual, and finance area as well too. So social, it means people. So as such though, the most important thing we want to talk about is about, well, whatever we do, we call as a people center for the people. Just giving example, in our company, we engage a couple of the part-time pastor, but they are not acting like a pastor in the company, the social well-being and welfare, and just to care for the people. Of course, in the long run, hoping that, the people will find trustworthy, the secular word that way. So, and at the beginning, no one accept them because, leave me alone, so and so like that. And now, they are the really backbone, of our HR department and really backbone how to build our company culture that way. So if we have the good people like them, and I give you some example that, basically, he just practiced and caring the people. And as such, though, we have the caring committee and we have the caring fund. And whenever the people need that, and that may be the channel that we can go extend our help to other people. As such, though, that, and some people also go into his church as well, too. And now his church becoming a international church because we hire so many of our staff, from, for example, from Philippines, from India, from China, and from Ukraine, and from Pakistan. And many of these people attending his church never been his plan A or B and C, that the local church turned out to be an international one. That is the exciting journey. Enjoy, working with God this way. And the other thing is about, we call it put the money in the mouth. And we learning that the time nowadays, we're talking about, the affordable housing. We're talking about inflation. We talk about a lot of financial stress, so and so. And we learn to pay attention to one thing is called living wages. And we are not talking about minimum wages. We're talking about, living wages. So with our softened heart, we came out with a practical thing that not only, to pay the minimum wages, to the entrance level staff, we create something called, we try to do something, and we're able to create something to matching the living wages. Then what we have the arrangement with the union, even though, our company is a union company, and many times the company have a fight, with the union, things like that. We seldom have that kind of thing because we offer than the union asks for. And that is not the normal kind of business. The normal kind of business for us, though, about social, how we care to the people and all this kind of thing. It could be another rewarding thing as well, too. And one time we we have been working with the local school, and one local school teacher came to us that I have one student, she's not making out in the school now. Can you offer her a job? And also to see what you can do with her. So we hire her and, in the kitchen, and sure that after, 2-3 days, she dropped out and just disappear on us then, caring manager who went out to reach her in her house and asking her and so on and so forth. And next day she came back. She came back with her friend as well too. Why she came back was saying that the first time in my 16 years of my life, the first time I ever have someone who cared for me, who to listen to my problem, and I feel loved this way, I feel care this way. Wow. And that is something. And then during that summer, she came back, another similar background. As such though, that is the way of we taking care of other people. Really, really fill up our love tank. And honestly, we are very privileged to be able to do so. That is something way more than job. That is so heartwarming. This kind of thing is not easy, but we enjoy doing it because this is social. This is human, the real love thing that way. And now this lovely young lady has been promoted for 2 times in our company. And she's planning go to university and so on and so forth like that. Though. That is the kind of thing that we should be reminding ourselves that through working, through making business, we have a lot of opportunity to extend love, to extend care to the people around us that way. And again, environment costs money. So what do? That is another great area that many people try to shy away from that way. But with our loving heart together in a different kind of innovative way, we're able to utilize our social financing. What is a social financing? That means we buy it by volume, but we share with our staff. We buy the local, we buy the egg from the local, we buy the beef, and as such though, that this is a little bit of a contribution. At the same time, and we understand the other thing, we just and invest much hundreds of thousands of dollars in a solar panel. And so whatever we could do, we try to be innovative, we try to be inspired by God, and we try to do it. And then now we start off doing our communal veggie gardening. So we start off being a farmer now. We start off doing it, but I'm telling you, we didn't do a good job last year. So we still have a long way to go, but we are doing it. And at the same time though, and so I'm proud that, many of our staff, they just experience it. And so as such though, we don't pitch the people at the beginning, but we gain the people's respect. We gain to build the trusting relationship. Only after that, they will be curious to see what kind of a company it is. When we're coming back to the reputation, we are quite well known that this is a Christian business company. We are not ashamed to say so, under the current, political climate and things like that. But we just want to be careful. But at the same time, we are proud to show that according to the biblical principle. And I don't think there's anything wrong to tell the people our own story. This is the true story. So no one can deny where we're coming from and why we are doing this kind of thing. Again, going back better of the salt and light in our good doing that way. A lot of people asking that, well, you do all this kind of thing, are you making money? And I'm proud to saying that most of the time we do. Most of the time we do. In fact, we have to be profitable. We have to be sustainable. We cannot keep on doing it. So God provide social, environmental, spiritual, and finance. However, in a very layman term is that I mentioned 2 things that really gain us profitable is about our staff. One is the retention. We have quite a low turnover of the hiring staff and turnover. And each new hire, some consultants saying that $25,000 just in general. So that is the kind of the money we are saving. Why? How? Because many of the new hire, they don't have the 100% output. They will be making mistakes as well too. So if we have a low turnover, and that may be the way. But more important thing is that most of our staff, they feel good, like I mentioned. So their output, efficiency, productivity, all those kind of things, they want to do a good job. Not because they have to do it. Not because they are under the gun, they have to do it. Not necessary. So the self-motivated thing is the best way to provide the people that way. All in all though, I'd like to just stop in here and I would like to encourage and any other people's question and so that we have a little bit more of interaction. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Larry, for that excellent presentation. Very insightful and very encouraging to see how God has used you and brought you through the process over the years of developing a company full of integrity and a staff and employees, some of whom are on this call, that live out that in their very day-to-day lives. Why don't we take a few minutes now for questions, comments, observations? What's been your experience, and what would you like to share with Larry, or would you like Larry to respond to?
I have to jump in one thing though. It's not Larry. It is a lot. It is our team, and without our team on the one, I don't think we could do it. But the most important thing is about we are just be empowered and by God to be using us though. So all I can say is that we are able to do so. Going back to the first page, so I don't think we or I can do anything without God's blessing and His goodwill.
Thanks, Don. Larry, I had the honor of staying at Living Waters in December last year with my family, and I've been telling so many people about your artwork. Micah 6 verse 8. And so I changed my schedule today to be on, to hear you. I showed my younger girls that this is why he had those verses there. So, it makes such a difference that we don't hide our faith. I went to an event for Black History Month earlier this month, and because we're still in February, and the young lady started by saying, I'm a Jesus follower. She's from the US. She had a big audience, a young girl. And sometimes we're afraid of sharing and putting it out there because you talk about the climate we're in. So congratulations to you and your team, not being ashamed to share the gospel of Christ. So thank you.
May I just add one story?
Go right ahead.
According to what you said. At one time, I was called to talk to one guest, and only to find out that she was from the States. That was during the COVID time. She came here to finishing her divorce. She came here to almost like protecting the two sons that she was trying to take them out. So you can imagine that she has been driving for hours, and she has been going through this, such a challenging situation. And end up that she's staying in our resort. She was so uptight and so nervous. By the time she stayed in the living room, the Bible verses, and all of a sudden, she turned into so calm and peaceful and so and so. So because of that, she really want to share her particular situation with me. And definitely, I was very touched that way. So, but this is a wonderful story. Need to be told that you just never know how much whatever we are doing that can touch people's heart.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know what God's plan to be. We just keep on doing the right thing, having the integrity, having the courage. And that is the kind of joy that we bring to the people, as well as bringing to us. Yeah, a little bit of a witness to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. That was very, very inspiring. And I've heard a few of these points. I've been fortunate enough to be shared with some of these stories in the past. And the one I really enjoyed was the story about going to the restaurant in England, and how sobering it is to have an owner that actually gets it, that the customer is not always right, not in every circumstance, and how that's supported, I know, as a leader amongst our team. But maybe just a question for you, Larry. I'd like to think I'm a pretty high energy type of person, and you're certainly hard to keep up to. I must admit, I know how hard you work, and I see the emails in the middle of the night sometimes, and you're a very dedicated and hard leader. But maybe you could just sort of share with us a little more about when you talked about sources of energy, and what motivates you, and what drives you to really keep going. and always, try to do more, especially, when you talk about all these things we do for the community, and the garden is another great example of that too. And I think we'll have better fruits of our labor, hopefully this year, compared to last year on that.
Oh, thank you, Errol. I guess the most important thing is about, we all know that when we study Bible, the question is about what are we here for? And we always told that we are living for God. But the thing is about it's just a knowledge. We forget all about that. 99%. We're always busy taking care of our self-interest that way. And I'm humbled to say that I have a mission. I'm living for God. As such, though, I always sharing with my wife too. God is not wanting me to suffer. He wants me to enjoy too. As such, though, I need to run a life, a joyful life that way then. And I do. And so that is number one, is about what is the purpose of living? What is the purpose of working? Is for him, for his glory. And number two is that, where we get the energy from, because life is no easy. But the thing is about, we learn to surrender our worry to God. We all know that from Bible too, right? But the thing is, what do we really do? We are so busy, serving our own self-intent and interest that way. And we need to be talking about partnership. I really feel good. Another wording, sound like I don't deserve to be his partners, but I really feel that, we have a privilege to be partners, with him. He take care, of us then. He gave me the opportunity, to take care of and going through the ups and downs. And number three is that even the tough time is not the bad thing. The tough thing, the adversity, is also the way to build our character as well too. So it's a long journey, but once we have a faith, we live on this thing on a daily basis. Absolutely, we need to be surrounded with like-minded people, like every one of you here. And it's encouraging for me to be sharing my witness with you, equally, rewarding to me. And that is the kind of thing that partnership with God and partnership with the like-minded people. And as such, though, we are not a lonely soldier. And I feel so privileged. I have so many of my team leader and our teammate to be with us, not divided, doing the one thing with the higher purpose. The higher purpose, pulling us from any kind of the adversity. Because knowing that, two things though. Number one, today's issue, bad or not bad, I'm not here to cheat on myself, but in the long run, it is. So in that sense, do we need to worry about all those things? And the other thing is about patience and calmness, all this kind of thing. Whatever, we're talking about how we live out our life in him. I always thinking that, during the COVID, so many challenges, so and so, but I always feel that, I was a bird, and sitting calmly in a cave, watching the rain and the storm blowing all the time. But I was a bird watching outside, but enjoying the moment, enjoying the time, that kind of thing that way. I know it's not easy to going through all those things, but it needs to be a daily striving, how to experience it. The only thing is about, so many people say that, you can do it because you are so and so and so. No, everyone can do so in your own capacity. So long we just practice in a way that, study Bible and have a devotion and surrounded, with the like-minded people and God's words and God's passage and God's power can protect us and raise us up. And so that, we run a joyful life.
Thanks, Larry. Yeah, my wife, Gloria, and I, as you know, stayed at your hotel a year ago over a long weekend and had an amazing time. And as others have mentioned, the scripture outside, the verses in the rooms that were so powerful. Something you said today really spoke to me. And you said, we don't manage by title, but by heart. Servant leadership, soft-hearted people, not hard-hearted people. That's a radical form of leadership that we don't see very often. Do you get any pushback? I would not think within your own company, but outside in your business circle, do you get pushback on Larry? You know, that's you're kind of crazy on that side. How is the response from those in your community who are business people as to this kind of radical leadership? Because that's what it is. It's radical, it's powerful. It has the power to change people. I would be interested, Larry, in just your response there.
Thank you, Paul. You know, we need to be the model leader, and the model leader is not preaching, it's by performing.
Mm.
And for the past 20 some years, we are proud to make a statement. We share that being this way, we are still. And the other thing is about, which I forget to mention about, is not only profit. We're talking about, you know, doing this way, you know, we prove that the company can be sustainable. But more important thing is people. Through, you know, doing the business, and we can do a lot of good deeds. And the good deeds, you know, cannot be denied. So as such, though, we can always say 1 + 1 is not equal to 2. It's equal to 3 and 4 and so on. And all this kind of story sharing, is it the real story? So as such, though, how can anyone can deny this kind of a management is not workable? I question myself too. I question myself for 2.5 years, and I did not dare to stand out and to do this way. So I understand that. But the point is that for the past 20 years, we have been able to prove this is working. So for the local community, it's quite easy because they watch, and even the politician, and for years, and then they would just accept that.
Beautiful.
And to answer your question about other people, though, and just like, you know, I mean, like you guys, so and so, though, it comes with reputation. And I, you know, if I came on my own with no introduction or so and so, you would not, you know, have believed me. But with the introduction, with the track record, with the solid, and so the people at least to be interested to listen. But by the time we communicate, we are not talking, we are not preaching, we are talking with substances. We are talking with years of experiencing and many of the touching story. No one can write a story like that, but they were human and they will touch the people's heart. And the most important thing is about building up the trusting relationship. So at the same time, many of my business associates and so though, and not only, you know, they understand, you know, where I'm coming from with the faith, but the way we do business too. And same thing that we are proud to share that most of the time we pay our bill within 30 days. And many times we pay our bill within a week. In fact, I just have another conversation with someone knowing that, you know, he needs some money, so and so. I just prepared a check, you know, next day to him and so and so. So all this combination is a real thing. It's not just a doctrine. It's some crazy spiritual guy and so like that though. So it's the real thing though. The real thing meaning that layman, we maintain a high standard. But on top of that, having our spiritual, you know, background, raise up the bar, and the people cannot deny that. And some, you know, and so I'm proud to share that. Probably, I don't know, but as far as I know, I don't know anyone who don't like what I'm doing.
Beautiful.
It's the kind of thing
Beautiful.
that way.
Maybe I'd like to just provide a little anecdotal comment to what to the question and to what Larry said in response. A couple of weeks ago, I was over at our local ski club here in Collingwood, and standing in line to pay for a bowl of chili at lunch. And behind me was a fellow I know, and a little, not a lot, fellow member, who is a member of the town council. So, the conversation began, how's the skiing today and how many times have you been out? And then he said to me, and he had been at our groundbreaking ceremony for our new retirement residence last spring. And he's been at the resort on other occasions. And he's totally unprompted, he said to me, Larry Law's the real deal, isn't he? And I said, yeah, he is. He said, amazing. I didn't think anybody could be like that. So that's just an anecdotal comment from a local council member in Collingwood and member of the ski club. And we did, by the way, have a similar comment from our member of parliament at the groundbreaking ceremony in his speech. And I think he caught everybody by surprise by saying, I didn't believe this guy, Larry Law, existed. Nobody can be like that. But he's true. It's real. He's for real. We hear things like that. And I think that reflects on Larry's passion and that of the leadership team.
Well, that's a good note for us to begin to wrap things up. I want to encourage you all by the fact that we've started something new this year with CCBF. Each speaker who speaks during the month, like Larry did today, we're having a professional writer write their story, just a one-pager, 700 words. And when you receive your email tomorrow or Friday, look for that story. It'll be inserted into your email. You can click on the link, it'll pull up his story and tell you more about his personal integrity in business. So I think that will be an encouragement. While we're at it, I should mention next month we have Rich Huseman, who is the president of Gent Consulting, will be speaking on values and priorities. Rich has spoken before. His book is out, The Leader List. I think you'll want to be here if at all possible. Feel free to join us, register. Once again, I'd like to thank Larry for an excellent presentation. Thank you, Larry, for sharing from your heart, but thank you more for sharing from your life, your experience, and the evidence that God is at work in and through you. May God bless you and bless all of us as we move on to our respective jobs today.